Hello, welcome to phase 2 marketing. Here we are, module 5, branding and marketing. And we are going to talk about branding, your story, your tone, all of the things branding. So get ready because this is going to be something where you're going to take a lot of notes and you're going to be putting on your thinking caps. And we're really going to dive deep into what you want your brand and your business to represent. So in this module, we are going to understand how we want to be portrayed to our clients, how to integrate our story and ourselves into our marketing, and begin to understand how to build a marketing plan. And so I just want to recap in the last module, we talked about branding and why it's important. And one of the things that I want to just reiterate is that we get people to buy from us by being ourselves. And a lot of it has to do, yes, with the value and yes, what we're helping them solve. But at the same time, it's also going to help people buy from us when they know us a little bit more and they know what we stand for and if our values align. So all of those things we're going to dive deeper into here. But this is what we call attraction marketing and how we start to get people to come to us through by attraction marketing. So I want you to do a brand audit. So if you don't really know what your brand is, if you don't know really what you want your brand to be, this is for everyone, right? Even if you have a brand or not, this is just going to be for everyone. So I want you to ask yourself these questions, and I want you to work along as we go through this module. So if you need to pause and write these things down, then I suggest that you do that. So let's do a brand audit. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Are you attracting your ideal client currently? What does your ideal client say about your brand? Are you outgrowing your brand? How can you elevate your brand or enhance your brand? So like I said, if it helps to write these things down, go ahead. But, and if you even need to journal about these things, go ahead and journal about them. Another thing that if you're ever stuck in any of these questions, even on this slide or the coming ones, I want you to ask your current clients, your past clients, maybe people that know your business, maybe some peers. I want you to ask them what they think of your brand. So then that's always a really good way to check on your brand as well. So let's dig into this. I want you to ask yourself more questions. So, does your brand currently represent what you want it to? So, when you take a look at your Instagram, at your posts, at your website, and you're thinking of the words that you want your clients to feel, maybe you want them to feel welcomed, nurtured, loving, passionate, those kinds of words. All of those words that come to your mind about your business, if you were to scroll your website and be like an outside perspective, do you get that vibe? Do you get that tone? And so the same thing with your content. Does your content represent your goals of your brand? So does your content that you are currently posting represent the goals of your brand? Meaning, are you talking about things that represent your current ideal clients and what you currently stand for and your current values? And then I want you to then see what posts are currently doing well. So this is another indicator as to what people come to you for, what posts are doing really well in your business. So that's another indicator of, okay, well, that's the current state of my audience. They are attracted to these kinds of posts. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? And then we're going to also have some recaps of some of our previous modules. So I want you to also, while we're talking about branding, I want you just to really think about your offers as well. Are your offers in alignment to the direction of your brand and your business? This is also key. While we are building our offers and creating our offers, do we need to have some tweaking? And then also, how about the pricing? Is the pricing in alignment? Are you charging under? Are you charging over? What kind of pricing are you charging? Does it feel good to you? So I want to help you uncover your messaging. So this is going to be, again, a little bit of a recap. But again, when we're thinking about branding, let's make sure that we are in alignment to what we already know. So what are you known for in the industry that you are in? Are you known for marketing? Are you known for fitness? Are you known for helping other people, helping service providers save more time? What are you known for? What is the thing that you want to be known for? So if you don't know what you are known for, let's go ahead and say, what do you want to be known for as well? And then we should already have this answer, but what people do you serve and how do you serve them? So we should already have that answer because of the previous modules. However, is that in alignment when we think about our current branding? And what's the outcome of working with you? What is the transformation you provide people? Is this also in alignment with your current clients? So, how do you want people to feel when they come across your brand? How do we want people to feel? So again, I gave you some words earlier in this module, a couple minutes ago. And we said welcoming, nurtured, loving, passionate, taken care of, efficient. So just kind of brainstorm some words as long as you want. How do you want people to feel when they come across your brand? And here are some examples if you need some. So here are some examples, but I still want you to brainstorm others if these aren't in full alignment with you. So reliable, dependable, luxury, welcoming, loving, nurturing, helpful, passionate, loyal, honest, creative, efficient, etc. We can think of those words and these adjectives and just kind of think about, how do we want to be portrayed if someone is looking at our platforms? All right, so let's identify your brand pillars. So we kind of already talked about content pillars and our pillars in the first couple modules, right? So again, I want to kind of connect those pieces. What are you known for? So if we already kind of went through our framework and we went through what we are creating our offers based on, are those the things that you want to be known for? So does that make sense? Is it all aligned? So for me, I like to be known for clarity, marketing, and lead generation. I believe those are the very pillars, foundations of a profitable business. And that's what I excel at. That's what I excel at teaching people do. So I love being known for those things. And that's basically what I build all of my offers on. But then there's other things too where I am also, there's things that I want to weave in, right? So we talked about the words that we want to be known for. So welcoming, nurtured, laid back, comfortable, all of those words are going to be key into how I want to be portrayed and those words that I want to integrate into my platforms and into my website. So there are going to be 3 key areas to what we talk about in our marketing as well. So this is, again, another aspect to making sure how we're going to start creating content. So we have our brand pillars, right? We are known for certain things. But here are other things too that we want to start integrating into our marketing as well. So 3 key areas are credibility markers. Why are we doing what we're doing and how did we get here? Do we have any kind of certifications? Do we have any kind of experience? These are like the hard things that hard meaning tangible. These are the tangible things that we can tell people. I have X years in coaching. I have X amount of years in the corporate world. I spent 10 years in sales in the retail banking sales. Those are my credibility markers. I was banking for 10 years, had to learn sales. I was certified as a selling associate. I then had to coach people for 5 years on a sales conversation, how to have proper sales conversations. Those are my credibility markers. So those are like kind of like that's your experience. That is what you are going to be telling people as to why you are the expert. And then what are you passionate about? So this is going to mesh well with your credibility markers. For me, I, coached people on a sales conversation, but what I'm really passionate about is helping people find a way to build a business that is aligned with them. So not using scripts, not telling you to do copy and paste strategies. I want you to have great conversations and build relationships. And this kind of weaves into my credibility markers as well, because that's what I taught in my corporate job. And then what sets you apart? So again, what sets you apart with what do you want to be known for? I'm unique in that I love building relationships and I don't believe in scripts or necessarily having sales calls all the time. So those are the things that I like to talk about, and people know that about me. They know that I like to build relationships. They know I like to have conversations in the DMs, and I don't shy away from those things. And so when we think about what sets us apart, is really almost like what you either agree or disagree with. So for me, when I started owning the fact that I really am passionate about having conversations in the DMs, I started owning that because I started seeing that there's a lot of people out there that do not like the DMs and they're scared to use them. And I also disagree with people who say that you have to get on 10 sales calls a week. That's just not ever going to be me, and I don't like that. And so I set out to be different from that, right? And so there's probably other little things that you might think that are little that you disagree with in your industry, but you haven't spoken up about yet. So for me, I talk about building relationships. I talk about selling the DMs. That's what sets me apart. So I want to invite you to think about, what is it that sets you apart? What do you disagree with? Or what is something that you really feel strongly about that you are just like, yes, this is how you build a relationship. This is how you build a business. I will 1000% back this every single time. So I want us to dive into brand story next. So again, we're going to think about, why are we doing what we're doing? And this is how we're going to relate to our ideal clients. And so how did we come to be, right? So why are we building this business? Why are we passionate about helping people? Why are we passionate about doing the things that we're doing? So here are some questions to start building your brand story. So what were you doing before this? What were your jobs? What were you doing? Why did you want to leave your, day job? Why did you want to switch careers? What were you doing before this? And then goes hand in hand, what problem did you experience? Were you burned out? Were you not passionate about what you were doing anymore? Maybe you were content and you wanted to say there has to be more to life than just this every single day. So then what happened leading up to the climax or change in your life? So was there an event that happened? Was there something big that was like a turning point? Oh, the next question is turning point. So what happened leading up to the climax or change? Maybe you burnt out. Maybe you ended up in the hospital. Maybe you gained a bunch of weight and you just wanted to say enough is enough. And then what was the turning point? What did you start doing? So did you start building your business? Did you start saving money to build your business and leave your job? What did you try doing? And then what was the transformation? Where are you now? What are you doing? How are you thriving? So this is the framework of building your brand story. So I can give you an example of mine. So mine is that, before all of this, I was in the corporate world in my banking job. And I already kind of knew what I wanted to do. I was already building businesses on and off. for 10 years while I was in college and after college. But what problem did I experience? I experienced that, again, I wasn't content with my life. I wasn't fulfilled with my job. I wasn't content anymore. And I went through cancer and really came out the other end of that thinking there has to be more to life than just this every single day. So what happened leading up to the climax or change? So I decided that I was going to find something that's going to be for me. One of the things that I realized, so this is number 3 still, one of the things I realized is that I was lucky enough to have my 2 best friends, my sister and my now husband. They absolutely love what they do. And they were essential in me trying to find something that works for me and something that I'm passionate about. So I set out to find what works for me. And I kept trying different things. So what was the turning point for me? The turning point for me was that I found coaching. I was actually blogging at the time and I stumbled upon Facebook groups that were designed for coaching. I was joining a bunch of Facebook groups as a blogger for engagement and help and things like that. And then I stumbled upon the coaching industry. Did not know coaching was a thing. And the transformation, here we are 3 years later. We are I have a coaching business, I have people working for me, and I have an agency side to the business as well. So let's dive into brand voice and tone now. So again, this would be helpful if you have other people that could answer these for you too. So you can ask some peers, you can ask your circle of influence, people that you know and have relationships with. But how would your community describe you? And this is a really good thing too if you're active on Instagram. You can do this on your stories and just have people vote. So how would your community describe you? You can have these words. You can have choices for them to choose, or you can just have them submit words to you. It's a really good example of how to get feedback. So then number 2, how would you describe your ideal customer? So again, when we're thinking about our brand and tone, as far as our brand goals and where we see our brand going, is the ideal customer of our brand that we want aligned with who we are currently attracting? Number 3, how does your tone sound to others? So again, another great thing for you to check in with past clients, current clients, maybe your Instagram community. How does your tone sound to others? Does it sound professional? Does it sound laid back? Does it sound unprofessional? Does it sound friendly? Does it sound too rigid? Just go ahead and ask people to give you some feedback if you don't know already. And then number 4, how do you want your clients to feel when they interact with your brand? So again, we've answered this a couple times and we talked about this in the last module, but as we're going through this module, how do you want them to feel when they interact with your brand? Is that still in line with what you thought about at the beginning of this module? So here are our action steps. So this was a very action-packed module. I want you to review the notes from today's session. I want you just to kind of digest those and sit with those and then see how you feel. And we could talk about this on Voxer and then on our group coaching calls. But does your current tone line up with where you want your tone to be? So that's a big question, is where your tone currently is and where your brand currently is. Is there a lot of tweaking that you need? Do you need to do a whole new rebrand? Or is it just something that you need to just, like I said, tweak, change up, and start going into a slightly new direction? And then what is the state of your current brand? So if you don't have one, if you haven't had one before this module, then that's totally fine. This is going to help you build your brand. This whole module has the things that you need to build your brand or to tweak it or to change it up. And then how can you create content around this? So I want to give you a little bit of insight into our next module, which will be focused on marketing. So I want to just give you a heads up that all of our modules coming soon with marketing, we're going to have a lot. There's all of these are going to be action packed. There's going to be a lot of notes taken. We're going to talk about these things in depth on our group coaching calls. And I really want you to start thinking about, do I already create content around these items about my story and how I got here to where I am and how I'm building my business? And am I sharing enough about me and my past or how I became to be this person? And if we're not, then how can we create content around this and how can we input it or implement it more into our marketing plan? And so I want you just to kind of brainstorm and think of some ideas. But in the next module, we will be talking about how to weave this in. We'll be creating posts. We will be talking about all of that. So just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next module.